What's up, guys? It's Jason here doing my first PC build guide. The video in the background will be me playing Battlefield 4, so please excuse the poor gameplay. I just threw it together. Okay, this is built on for the person that wants to have a PC and wants to game on it, but does not want to game on console. Now, in my opinion, consoles run you about $500 for the actual console, probably, and you'll probably get like 5, 6 games, $60 each. That's another $300. That's $800, and then you have to have online subscription, which is $60 a year from what I've heard, maybe 50. So it comes like 850, and then you have to have a TV, which is like run you like 400 bucks. That's $1,200. Then you have to probably get yourself a laptop or a desktop because you can't live in 2014 without a computer if you live in a modern society. So that's another like $500, $600. Not to mention monitor, keyboard, mouse, and stuff like that. So with that in mind, I built this computer with a $1,000 budget. It's made to last for the next 2, 3 years. After that, you probably will have to get new parts and stuff like this, but this will run at all games 1080p at least medium settings at 60 plus frames. Any settings I'm going with, it's at 60 plus frames because everybody that's playing a PC should be playing at that. Honestly, I think console should too. So yeah, people tend to forget that a gaming PC is a gaming console, so to speak, and a PC. So yeah, if you skip out on the console, skimp out on your desktop or your laptop, whatever, you can build this PC very affordable, considering that you'd probably spend upwards to like $1,500 to $2,000 on a console with your own desktop, laptop, and stuff like this. But this will replace all of that if you're not on the go all the time. Otherwise, a laptop would be better, a gaming laptop. So yeah, and this computer rather, would probably run all games at 1080p, like I said, for the next year or two, and you'll probably have to swap out your processor and graphics card, but everything else can pretty much stay the same. So let's start off with the motherboard. I went with the ASRock B85 Pro 4 LGA 1150 socket Intel B85 HDMI SATA 6 GB motherboard. It's a Mid-ATX tower or Mid-ATX motherboard, and it supports the i5, which I put in here. It has SATA 6 GB per second. Nothing really special about this. It's pretty cheap. It's quality. ASRock is pretty respectable. I don't personally use Gigabyte, but this is pretty good for the money you're spending. And it supports, DDR3 RAM, stuff like that. So yeah, I think it has 4 RAM slots. I think you can run SLI on this. I'm not sure, but with this build, you're not going to be running SLI. So the next thing, the processors I chose is the Intel i5 4670K Haswell 3.4 GHz LGA 1150 socket quad-core processor. It has Intel's HD graphics, which is great because if your graphics card craps out or whatever, you can use this until you get a new graphics card or anything like that. So that's very good. i5s are pretty respectable for the money you spend. It's only about $240, so that's great for you if you're on a budget. You won't have to upgrade this for at least 2, 3 years, although Sleeping Dogs and Battlefield 4 do appreciate more cores rather than less cores with more power. That means an AMD 6-core and 8-core should, in theory, outperform the i5. However, the i5 is very powerful, it runs very cool, very power efficient, and you can overclock it with the K series. And I do plan to throw in a CPU cooler, which I'm going to go into right now. I'm going to go for the the Coolmaster Hyper 212 Evo air cooler. It's really good, 30 bucks. It basically, if you run overclocked i7, i5, or whatever, it'll keep you at like 80 degrees Celsius at like max load, probably 95 for the most part. So yeah, that's really good for the money you're spending. It doesn't take a lot of power, so you can just plug the CPU. Yeah, you can just plug the CPU fan right into the motherboard and you're good to go. Cools very well. With that, you'll easily be able to overclock your i5 to at least 4.1, 4.2 gigahertz. It depends on your chip really, but temperature wise you could definitely handle up to 4.3. For reference, I have an i7 4770K and I overclocked it to 4.5 gigahertz, and when I ran Prime 95 it ran at like 86 degrees Celsius after like 20 minutes, so that's pretty respectable, and that's with carpet. So yeah, I would recommend that. Now let's get into the RAM. I use the PNY Optima 8 GB. It's just your standard RAM. It has 1333 speed. It's cheap and slow, but the thing is, RAM speed is maybe 1 or 2 frames per second, and RAM is very pricey, so that's why I did that. That's why I went with this. It is $70. That's kind of expensive. If I were you, I'd try to go on Craigslist or something, try to find it a little bit cheaper. So yeah. The next thing on my list, I have a Western Digital 1 terabyte, 7200 RPM, 64 megabyte cache, SATA 6 GB a second. drive. It's an internal hard drive, 1 GB, 1 TB rather. Western Digital Blue is good for storage. The money for the Caviar Black isn't worth it because that money could, with that money that you're spending, like another $20-30 for 1 TB, it really isn't worth it because the performance isn't that great. And if you want a fast hard drive, you might as well just go with an SSD. So yeah, for $70, this is a pretty, or not for $70, sorry, for $60, this is a really good hard drive. Personally, I have this for recording. So yeah. Next, for the power supply, I went with the NZXT Hale 82 650 watt power supply. It is 80 plus bronze. It can't run SLI or Crossfire, but it is a good. I have an NZXT. It runs a little bit loud, but it is good. It's just a good power supply for $70. You're spending good money. You could probably try to find something a little bit cheaper, but I would rather go with a brand name one just because if you overvolt or something like that, this will shut off your computer. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Now for this build, I was able to fit in a Gigabyte GTX 770 2 TB graphics card, which is really good for $330. This is like, in my opinion, a little bit better than the 680, and the 680 in the time in which it came out was such a beast of a graphics card. So this is good. It runs rather power efficient, and it's good money for what you're spending. The thing is, I wanted to stick a 780 in it because I think with the budget you could, if you like skimped out on your monitor, if like you had another monitor laying around and if you had another operating system, you could definitely get a 780. But the thing is, if you're going for Battlefield 4, strictly speaking, I would rather get a better processor at a lower graphics card than a higher graphics card at a lower processor because like I said, the game is so CPU hungry. Like I get like 75% usage on an i7, and I overclocked it to 4.3 gigahertz. So yeah, so an i5, I can only imagine how much it would be. So the 770 is great. It runs. My friend runs it on 1440p Battlefield 4 on Ultra, and it gets like 55 frames. So yeah, you can easily run this game on higher medium. Very, very, very good video card. And personally, I like NVIDIA because they have more stable drivers. Plus, you get things such as shadow play, so you don't have to pay for Fraps or Camtasia, which Camtasia runs you $300. I have that. Fraps is another $35. I have that myself. So you save your money with shadow play, and it basically no performance loss. You can stream Twitch. You can have game optimization, and just all that great stuff. I mean, NVIDIA, I think, is better than AMD in terms of drivers. I think price to performance, I think AMD is better, but personally, I'm an NVIDIA guy. So yeah, Nahin. Now I think I covered most of the things. Now for the case, I just went with an Antec 300 Illusion Black Steel mid-tower ATX tower for $65. It has, okay stuff. It's just a mid-tower case. It has a couple of fans that are pretty cool. It has USB 2.0 because I couldn't find one with 3.0, but the case is all up to preference. That's why I chose this. It's black. Personally, I think that's cool. Now Windows 8, I would recommend Windows 8. Guys, it's 2014. If you're not running Windows 8, you really need to upgrade. Most people that say, oh, Windows 8 is crap, they either A, don't have Windows 8 on their desktop, never had, or B, they just hate it because of the way it looks. A, the reason why they hate it is because they saw it on tablets. First of all, Windows 8 is a desktop OS ported to the tablet, not the other way around. Please remember that. And in the time when Windows 7 came out, it wasn't that great as opposed to it was good in comparison to Vista, but remember, everybody still liked XP better in the beginning, if you guys remember that. And two, people that say that just hate it, they don't know what they're talking about. Windows 8 has better performance. I personally didn't like the appearance of Windows 8. I dealt with it, and it's honestly just a faster Windows 7. You can type on your keyboard what you want on your desktop, and it'll pop up right away. So you need to get Windows 8. You will get 20-30 frames better in Battlefield 4 with Windows 8. I'm not even joking. Look up benchmarks and stuff like that. Windows 8 is the way to go. So yeah, rant over. So yeah, that's the build. It'll run you about $1,000 and $1,004 before tax and shipping. You look for stuff with free shipping, look for deals. A lot of people don't know this. If you go on certain websites and you just ask them, if you buy this amount, can you get free shipping? A lot of them will actually be like, yeah, sure. I've done it once, not with Newegg, but with Microcenter, and that worked out just fine. So yeah, that's the build, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. The links to all the Newegg products are on the bottom. The reason why I chose Newegg is because if you're in US or Canada, well, definitely US. I know they ship basically everywhere in the US. Not everybody has a Micro Center. Not everybody has a Fry's. You could check on Amazon. Prices might be more competitive there. So yeah, but I'll leave the links and the parts and stuff in the description. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for watching.